Hello, Twitch and YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you missed all of the fun that we just had for the last hour and 40 minutes between making 0 decks that I felt good about, and then I just told Twitch chat to choose which deck we're going to play. And Twitch chat chose Hollowvine, so we're going to play some Hollowvine tonight. And yeah, then I spilled my drink all over myself. That was interesting. Okay, yeah, Hollowvine. So what we did is we took Andy's last list, and then Andy was in chat, so we got a couple of little changes as well. So this is the most recent Hollowvine list from the Hollowvine Masters. What is interesting about this list? 4 Mindbreak Trap makes sense to me because it is a Tinker metagame now. We have a really cool sideboard tech in Basic Forest, Basic Mountain. So when we get Ghost Quartered by Golos, we can just search up a mountain and start pumping our Blazing Root Walla. I like that a lot. Also, Library of Alexandria against all the pesky Pithing Needle players. And then Redstone Portal again for when we get all of our stuff destroyed. Or not destroyed. Or just, in general makes mana. I like that. Besides that, it's kind of the same things you've seen if you've seen Hollowvine before. Hollowvine is a graveyard-based Bazaar of Baghdad deck that needs Bazaar of Baghdad to function, so you are playing 4 Serum Powder, and you have to mulligan to your Bazaar. And from there, you play kind of almost a tempo strategy, where you play free creatures in Hollow 1, Root Walla, bring back Vengevine, and you protect it with your free counter spells with 4 Force, 4 Mindbreak Trap, 4 Negation, Misstep. And the way you break the card disadvantage of Bazaar of Baghdad is with Squee coming back to your hand every upkeep, and Master of Death coming back to your hand every upkeep. Well, your upkeeps anyways. Master of Death being a Squee that pitches to Force of Negation and Force of Will. Pretty sweet. Nice new addition to the deck. Not super new at this point. Newer tech include Noxious Revival as ways to bring back Bazaar of Baghdad. There's been a large increase in the number of Wastelands in the format as of the last couple months. So this makes a lot of sense as a way to combat Wasteland targeting Bazaar of Baghdad. And yeah, so you play kind of almost a controlling tempo-y game where you abuse one of the most broken cards in Magic in Bazaar of Baghdad. Should be a fun league. Let's just jump right into it. All right, round 1, Vintage League with Hollowvine up against Zol. So we might have a Bazaar Mirror. It's possible, though. Zol has kind of, expanded the range a little bit as of recently. We'll see if that stays true. No. I mean, this hand has Bazaar, counter spells, definitely going to keep it. Justin, how do I rate Fanoop in the MTGO vintage scene? Fanoop is a strong player. Pete's pretty strong. I like Pete's deck ideas. Won a mock showcase for vintage, which is not an easy feat by any means. So, pretty strong player. I think we're playing a Hollowvine mirror. I'm talking with Zol in chat right now. Said they were about to start watching the stream. So, they have mulligan to 4. And they have kept their 4-card hand. Now, this isn't the best mirror hand. The best mirror hands contain Wastelands. But we have a Bazaar, so not the end of the world. We have a recursion engine with our Master of Death. We actually don't have a counter spell that counters Hollow 1, which is a little awkward. A question is, do we mental misstep a Blazing Root Walla? What kind of value does that add to our game plan? I feel like you would not, because you would just want to be countering Noxious Revivals, and you don't really care about a Blazing Root Walla, is my first assumption. I did not peel the Wasteland, and they did have a Squee to go with their Bazaar, but we have our own Bazaar, so Not the end of the world. We still want to put a hollow one into play if we find it. So I don't see any reason not to activate now. We found another Bazaar of Baghdad, which we do want to keep because our opponent could wasteland us. I think we just want to put the Master of Death in the yard, to put the Root Walla into play so that we can... do we want to hold the Root Walla in case we draw Vengevine later? That might be reasonable because it's not going to change much right now, and these Mindbreak traps are pretty much garbage. And the Chalice is obviously garbage, so we have some garbage to get rid of. So let's just get rid of one Mindbreak trap, one Chalice, and we'll hold this Root Walla for now. I liked when Pete streamed. I didn't catch too many of them, but I mean, Pete and I have a very similar taste in decks. So, all right. So my opponent's 4-card hand with a 1 Bazaar activation had Bazaar and Wasteland, which is really strong. So we did obviously hit our second Bazaar, which gives us some good. They actually got rid of a second Wasteland. Wow. All right, I don't have an answer to this hollow one right now, but I could always draw Vigor or my own hollow ones, so that's not too big of a deal. This mirror is quite an odd set of magic match. Well, weird. Justin. Quite an odd match of magic. Not a lot of the things that you typically matter. So you end up having to reevaluate a lot of your cards. All right, we drew our own Wasteland, and I think it's better for... Now we have to evaluate, is it better to Wasteland right now, or is it better to Bazaar right now? And we have time to take the damage. I think I would rather Wasteland right now, and then next turn we can start setting up our plans. They only have 1 card in hand, so the only thing they can have left is a Revival. So I don't want F6 here. All right, they didn't have a Revival. I guess they could have a second Bazaar. But it seems unlikely they would keep a second Bazaar after we didn't show them Wasteland on turn 1. Probably not. So now we're going to 13, but we have our own Bazaar coming. We find a hollow one, we've immediately stabilized. We're in good shot. Oh, that also kind of stabilizes us if we want to do that. Bazaar, activate. Okay, sweet. So I'm gonna just get rid of Blazing Root Walla, Master of Death, and probably just Mindbreak Trap, and then play a hollow one, and maybe we might Vigor. Unsure if we'll Vigor yet. It's nice to have another Root Walla, but... And we are actually pretty close to hard casting this Vigor. If we were to say pitch another Root Walla, another 2 Root Wallas would be hard cast Vigor. I guess it's possible my opponent's 2 cards are blue card Force of Will, and we might have to Vigor this hollow one. It's possible. I really want there to be Old Border Blazing Root Walla on Magic Online. Who do I have to contact to get that to happen? This new border Blazing Root Walla is no good. I don't think I'm forced to Vigor. I almost am not sure I should. I don't feel it like it's necessary, and maybe we can just make our way to hardcast. Is that even worth it? We know their hand is Squee and 3 unknowns. I don't know. It does allow us to get a good attack in. I don't think I have like a very compelling... I think this is okay. I'm just trying to, like, I think that's like, this is like the very level 1 play to just force it, but I don't know if it's necessary. That's my thing. Is it maybe there's like a more, like we'll get more if we wait. Like the biggest thing we would get is we would have another creature for our cradle. Do we get anything from playing cradle here? Do we get anything from attacking here? The clock is much better. But if they trade, then it's worse. No, sure. I'm not sure how much these little decisions matter and if we should be changing based on them. But I feel like attacking and them not blocking is obviously the best outcome because it's a 3-turn clock from our 4-turn clock. We're getting an endurance evoked. I mean, I have nothing to say about that. It certainly makes my play of putting both squeeze in my yard worse. I don't think it's something I would play around though. I think you just want to extract the value from your squeeze. It definitely makes playing some of these things worse as well because we'll have less cards to use. These cards are not that good anyways. They're basically just the Mental Misstep is good for Noxious Revival. Okay. Don't think I want another, like, if they draw a Wasteland for me, it doesn't matter much. But my negation's dead, so maybe I just get rid of Vigor, Negation, and hold second Bazaar. So let's just do Vigor, Negation, and we'll just hold on to both of these. This answers their Bazaar, this answers their Wasteland, this answers their Noxious Revival, and that pretty much just limits the amount of things that it's possible for my opponent to do. I'm going to keep attacking as long as they're willing to let this continue to happen. I don't really know why you wouldn't trade. Maybe it saves you an extra turn where you get to chump with your Hollowvine later. But you automatically save an extra turn just by trading the Root Wallas because the clock changes. That could be a reason. Cradle, so they can cast their own Root Wallas. They're running out of time though. Alright, they're just going for the chump this turn. I feel like, yeah, just trading makes more sense. That increases the clock by a turn and gets rid of something on my board. I actually think I will play a second Bazaar here because the worst possible outcome is like I activate Bazaar and just get rid of the cards that I got, and that's fine. But the best outcome includes like more Root Wallas and stuff. Maybe get lethal. Like if I hit a Basking Root Walla, it's lethal here. Not a Blazing Root Walla. Can I Noxious anything that matters? Not really. Now, at the very least, we have a threat through Vigor. Because they could always hit their own Vigor and kill my Hollowvine. I think I like how we played that game. So the mirror gets even weirder post-board as we get to bring in Endurances, Leyline of the Voids, Furies. I assume these things, maybe not these things. And then like obviously negations and traps are all horrible. You probably just get rid of all your counter spells. You probably would keep Mental Misstep though for Noxious Revival. How was putting a Root Walla on top there deterministic? Because I would still have to attack down to 1, right? I don't understand, Andy. So this is Chalice is also dead. Oh, I see. So snapback better than basic. I don't know. I don't know which one of these is the best. That's kind of funny. No, I think Force of Will is garbage. I think we just want one of the basics. I assume we would want. Well, we already have multiple green lands, so maybe we would want a red land. Theoretically, my opponent could be boarding in Ghost Quarter as well, so kind of like this. The classic 13 cards in, 13 cards out, take out every single free counter spell almost. Yeah, so there's a large number of Ghost Quarter decks as well as a few Assassin's Trophy decks in Vintage. So having access to basics is an interesting sideboard plan to help play against those decks. And it'll let you activate your Root Wallows, which can actually be very effective against specifically the decks that are Ghost Quartering and Assassin's Trophying you. It's actually really effective to be able to activate your Blazing Root Wallow. So it's a cool tech. It's not common. This is definitely new tech, but it's pretty interesting. I like it. It's good thinking. I'm a big fan of basics in Vintage because they're OP. They don't get wastelanded. They get found off of Ghost Quartered Assassin's Trophy. Shops players hate them, and I like anything that shops players hate. Oh boy. Yeah, this is no go. So you don't need a Bazaar in games 2 and 3 in the mirror. But if you don't keep a Bazaar hand, you need an overwhelming amount of hate cards, and this hand does not have that. So I'm gonna mulligan this hand. I mean, I'll keep this one. I do think it's like more important to have hate pieces than it is to have Bazaars and stuff, but no, sorry. I think it's more important to have hate pieces and Bazaar. Or how's a better way to phrase this? I don't know what a better way to phrase this is. But this hand's good. It has answers to Hollowvine and Leyline of the Void. It has answers to have double answers to Wasteland. So this is a good hand. So definitely a good hand. I just feel like a turn 1 Wasteland is stronger than a turn 1 Bazaar, is what I'm trying to say. That's really bad for me, though. That is certainly not what we wanted to see. Oh, I could have Noxious Revival the Vengevine. I probably should have. I probably should have. I'm not really... I guess with the second Bazaar, maybe I'm supposed to. I considered it and kind of ruled it out, but maybe that's poor. It's kind of one card too late. I'll just hit my own Root Wall of Vengevine here. It's fine. This works out pretty well. We just get our Root Walls in play, and then I can actually trade up to the Vengevine next turn with my Mountain, which is interesting. It definitely stems the bleeding a little bit. It's possible this is still a self-created problem by not casting Noxious. Kind of feels like it's a self-created issue, but it is an answer to the issue, so... I don't know why I felt like I didn't want to Noxious Vengevine, but I had like a very strong initial... I don't want to Noxious here. I don't know why though. It's kind of awkward because once my opponent has this much pressure, like Wasteland, Maybe it's because of I played a lot of this mirror when there was a lot of surgicals in the sideboard. And it was like one of your better answers against surgical. I'm trying to figure out why I thought that way. Because when I look at this board face up right now, it feels like I made a mistake. And I probably did make a mistake. I'm just trying to figure out what heuristics were like really pushing me to make that assumption. I'm not sure. I feel like it has to do something to do with surgical, but I don't know. I can't put it together. Kind of super far behind here. Just being on the draw versus a turn 1 Vengevine with no hollow ones. They kept in Force of Will. I wonder if that means they didn't have enough sideboard cards, or they're just doing a weird strategy. I think I'm supposed to just vigor this now while they have one less blue card in hand. I think I'm going to keep the Noxious. Don't think I'm going to have enough green cards to do a second vigor this game. It feels unlikely to me. Interesting. Rootwalla. Man, do we get rid of... Probably just get rid of this other Force of Vigor and keep the second Bazaar. Yeah, I guess we can't really beat a Fury, but I don't know if we were ever beating a Fury, right? Maybe we should have held a Rootwalla so that we didn't have nothing. It's kind of hard to hold a Rootwalla, though. I feel like I should just get this attack in for 1. We're definitely really far behind. With the opponent still having a Bazaar, having 5 cards because of Death, Master of Death. We haven't had any of the Master of Deaths or Squeeze. Maybe I'm just like over holding this Noxious and I should have been pitching it because I have a second one. I'm interested to see how the rest of this game goes, as we are just seriously behind in cards. Another Force of Will and a Master of Death and a Ghost Quarter. I didn't bring in both mountains. I didn't bring in both basics. Should I have brought in both basics? Well, I don't have to Noxious here as I have another Bazaar. Should be very low on cards. Excuse me. I take a Wasteland here over everything, though. So they're going to Surgical my Bazaar, but I already... it hits the one in my hand. Does it hit the one in my hand? Search graveyard hand. So I have to Revival it now? I guess that's fine. This is the I'm pretty sure that is the exact heuristic or reason or ingrained like muscle memory of why I didn't want to revival the Vengevine on turn 1. I think this is kind of what I was feeling. Like, this is a very important interaction in my mind for the mirror. And that's kind of why. And it kind of looks good now that I held onto my revival. I do think I was probably still pretty lucky, but so what do I do now? Do I still like I can't really activate, right? I feel like activating would be not very good, but I also feel like I need to get to. Well, in any case, there's no reason to activate now because there's nothing I could hit now that would change anything. So there's no reason to activate now. I have to consider activating at the end step if I don't get wastelanded. That's what I'm talking about. So I did end up getting wastelanded. So now I don't want to activate because I want to hold on to the second bazaar. Obviously, if they have a second surgical, then we get got, but that's okay. So my opponent still has been drawing an extra card every turn. This time they found a Rootwalla. Hopefully they didn't find Rootwalla and Hollowvine, or we're pretty dead. Not much we can do at that point. All right, they didn't find Rootwalla and Hollowvine. That's good for us. Fury. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to play... Does playing my Bazaar actually help me? No, right? There's no reason to? I can just hold it in my hand. It's safer there. Then next turn, if I want to activate, I can still activate. It's good against surgical. Second surgical. Yeah, it's a little bit of everything, huh? We're just getting outdrawn by this Master of Death has been the biggest issue. So what we can do is we can end of turn Bazaar, upkeep Bazaar, try to hit some masters. If we hit a master or a squeeze on our end step, we don't have to upkeep, then we can draw. Master, Vigor. So they kept in all of their Force of Wills. It's so odd to me. Okay, well now well, I think I am still, maybe they're just not even gonna attack. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna activate. Wow. How many more root walls are even in our deck? 2 basking, 2 blazing. All right, upkeep, activate. While I have no cards in hand, I can hit root wallas and squeeze or whatever. I definitely would have wanted a wasteland, but that is the power, or not the power. It is a consequence. Yeah, unlucky combination there. I think what I'm gonna do is attack with. So if my opponent plays Hollowvine, bring back Vengevine. I want to attack with both and just pump something. They take a life every time they bring back Master of Death. So next turn we don't activate on upkeep. We just go up to our normal draw, and then we get to keep 1 card, maybe like a hollow one, try to bring back a Vengevine. See what our opponent does. They did bring back their death again. They're at 7. They have a Cradle, which is pretty annoying. Can be annoying. Doesn't do anything right now. They discarded another Vengevine and hit another Bazaar. Interesting. Should say on screen, hashtag. Should say on screen, I think. These matchups are pretty interesting. The mirror, it's very, very odd. I'm still surprised my opponent has force in their deck, but maybe they don't have 13 cards to bring in. So now my opponent is debating whether to activate their next Bazaar. Why would they debate to activate their next Bazaar? What could be in their hand that they want to hold on to? It can't be a Wasteland. But what, do they just Noxious something? They Noxious a Hollow one back. So they would have to hit a Root Walla here. So this doesn't work though. They are done. Okay, fair enough. Interesting. So if we had gone to our draw step, we would have drawn another Powder and then Bazaar'd into nothing. Maybe a second Bazaar, probably a second Bazaar, and then activated second Bazaar and hit nothing again. Mountain was unreal in this game, for sure. Maybe we were supposed to bring in both of our basics because they had a Ghost Quarter. But Mountain was super good, even though we didn't even search it up. Interesting match. Okay, here we go. Round 2. Vintage with Hollowvines. Oh man, this is a rough hand to Powder away. An absolutely rough hand to Powder away, losing out on 2 hollow ones, but I believe you're still supposed to do it. Beautiful. Keep. If I don't find a Root Walla or a hollow one on my first Bazaar activation, I'm very likely to hold the Root Walla, especially with 2 hollow ones being gone. Okay, so Vine Master. Well, Master is currently my only blue card, which makes me less inclined to put it in my graveyard, even though that's where the value is. So I kind of think that this deck heavily needs cards in hand, so I was more likely to just Powder than mulligan there. I think I'm going to keep this Master of Death in hand. I lose out on a value, but I think not dying to a Tinker makes me happy. Maybe this is... I don't know, like, I feel pretty good about my play here. I feel like I made a strong decision here. All right, come on, give me some lizards. Didn't find a lizard, but I did find a very interesting idea in just vigor the shit out of my opponent. I'm gonna just get rid of my other cards and vigor the shit out of my opponent. I could get flustered here, but whatever. Goodbye, opponent's magic cards. Oh wow, unlucky. Still looking for a hollow one or a lizard wizard. Jeez. At this point, I should probably take the wasteland. I have a squee to start getting advantages anyways. Yeah. I'm good. This is one of the decks that I pilot to a reasonable level. I think I'm supposed to, yeah. That feels good. 3 of a kind. Of the decks that I'm practiced on, like obviously PO and Tinker decks are the most, but this one is I've actually played a lot. So I have a good grasp of what's going on here. Not the best, but reasonable enough. All right, my opponent is very much on the dead scale. Land taps or divination. True. So I think I want. Do I want to activate this Bazaar again on their end step here? I can just wait until I have all these cards in hand. I don't think I really want to. I don't really think that would make any sense. Why would you ever want to normal mulligan instead of using serum powder? So I lost 2 hollow ones, and this deck is fairly threat light. If you were to say powder twice and lose a large substantial amount of your threats, there's some reason to be powdering to mulligan instead of powdering. All right. Okay, so now I can revival back nothing. I can revival back nothing. All right, I still need a root walla or a hollow one. Okay. Yep. It's okay. I mean, we will get there eventually. We have extracted maximum value, and my opponent still has no cards in play, which is fun. A good time. Once these Vengevines come in, it's gonna be game over on the spot. No more. Sure. Resolves. I would like to return all of these from my graveyard. Thank you for asking, Magic Online. I appreciate that. If only I could just have always yes on, but, you know. I mean, my opponent's deck is a Seed of the Cyanod deck, so that's kind of why. I didn't put the root walls into play off the first one because I wanted to see if I could hit the 4th Vengevine. I actually can put how much do I want to put into play? Can you put another? Yeah, let's just put it all into play. I'm about no, let me bring back the elementals. If you're gonna continue to play, let me do the fun thing. All right, so we're up against 8 cast, which is the all-in Tinker deck. We already have 4 Vigors, 4 Traps, 4 Negations, 4 Force of Wills in our main deck, as well as a Chalice, so we're basically pre-warded. We might want the library for the needles that are going to be in the deck, and we might want Snapback for Sphinx of the Steelwind, and that would probably be it in my mind. I guess you could theoretically play Fury, which hits like their creatures, and Emery, but I'm not sure that's what you want to be doing. I think you don't need Noxious Revival, though it makes your green count a little low. So if I had to guess, Andy's going to tell me Library, Snap in, Noxious out. Let's find out. Survey says perfect. Let's go. Yes, Sensei. Okay, sweet. We're going. Okay. Well, another powder hand. I'm going to lose a hollow one and a Vengevine on this one. And then I have a beauty. Oh, what a nice one. There's merit to running Riftstone over the 3rd Noxious to cast our spells over a needle. Interesting. Interesting. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Blue. Uh-oh. It's okay. It's okay. We have still can play hollow ones. Everything's fine. Thoughtcast for 3 mana. Divination? Divination? Oh my god, they have a needle too. Okay. Fair, fair, fair. Yeah. All right. Okay. Okay. Sure. So green spell for vigor is good. Maybe library is good. I don't know besides that. So I can play nothing here and put a root walla into play, which would let me attack this Narset. Or I could put a chalice in play and stop 0 drops. I think I would rather put a chalice in play to stop 0 drops this turn. Then if I still have 7 next turn, at least the Narset will be at 1. They are going to cast Thoughtcast this turn for 2 mana. I think I'm just supposed to play Chalice on 0 here. And then I'm going to just leave the rest of the cards in my hand. And I might negation if I have to, but I don't want to, because it will at least leave me with the Root Walla line that lets me kill the Narset. I do technically need a green card anyways, so maybe not as good. Obviously, they find like a Tinker here, I have to negate it. If they find a Manifold Key, I have to negate it. There's a couple of things like that. Mox Pearl is not a bad one for me. So this is going to be a Thoughtcast for 2. I think I just let that happen. There's a lot of bad draws in my opponent's deck now that Chalice is on 0, and they don't have another blue card currently. Stop it! Stop it! It's okay. It's okay. If we ever get to activate Bazaar, we're just putting hollow ones in play. So ooh. Shall I still pitch the Root Wall at a hand size, or should I just put the Bazaar into play? Well, I need to pitch the Root Wall at hand size so I can kill the Narset and activate Bazaar on the next turn. So I think we're just going to put the Blazing Root Walla into play here. And then we have to decide, shall we upkeep Vigor stuff? And I think the answer is no, because I'd like them to tap out of blue mana so I don't get Flusterstormed. So now I could hit, like... I kind of have to hit this, don't I? So I can attack Narset. So maybe I let this resolve with the trigger on the stack, hit Thought Monitor Needle. There's some inherent risk in this. Like if my opponent draws a Saga, it's really bad for me. Like it's really bad for me if my opponent draws a Saga. So maybe in the end, it's not even worth hitting the Thought Monitor. They didn't hit a land. Interesting. All right, I'm about to kill this Narset. Cool. And now... yeah, I mean, I think I'm supposed to put the clock in play. Wow, really, really strong draws. I don't think I want to put both Master of Deaths in the yard because I don't want them both to get lanterned. So I think I just go Rootwalla, Master, Snapback. Because if my opponent were to tinker, they're going to get key anyways, so I don't actually care about a Sphinx. Also, I have negation. Feels like a reasonable logic. This might get forced. This might get forced. Neither get forced. Okay. They didn't have a land last turn. They lost a flip this time, which is nice because they're now what, 1 and 3. They have a key, so I lose to Fluster. That resolves? Great. Fantastic. I think they're done. I think they're done. Fucking 8 cast, man. 8 casts. Oh, 8 cast. What a deck. Don't show Slasher this VOD. You may never recover. Oh, big wins for Team Hollowvine here. Okay, here we go. Boom. Ready for round 3. We're up against a bizarre player himself, Wing Tusar. Recent Legacy PTQ winner. This hand doesn't have a bizarre in it. This hand also doesn't have a bizarre in it. Let's powder it. And let's keep... I don't know what you're supposed to keep in this situation. In a game 1, I assume you'd want to keep in Strip Mine, and maybe assuming Ryan is on a bizarre deck, or maybe you want to keep Vigor, assuming Ryan is on Oath. The last time I played against Ryan, they played Jeskai, which means you'd want to keep Strip Mine or Negation, maybe. Let's just lean towards Strip Mine. As I said, that's the card I said the most. This hand also does not have a thing. So let's powder it. This one also doesn't, so we're mulliganing to 5. This one also doesn't, mulliganing to 4. This one also doesn't. So... I can take out the liquor note. True. True, I am back. Thank you, thank you. We would have had that on the whole time. Yeah, let's powder this hand away. And let's keep the Vengevine and the Master of Death in my deck. And a Force. Why not? Alright, that's a miss. Let's mulligan again. That's a miss again? How is that possible? What is going on here? I will be down to 1 hollow one if I powder this hand. Well, I guess not, because they go back in, right? This goes in, this goes in, and this goes in, and this goes in, I guess. Done. And that's a miss. All right, mulligan to 2. Okay. I'm pretty sure you're 99% to get a bizarre. But I guess we've become the 1%. All right, we're going to go to 1, I guess. We've done it. I guess we've done it. Except all these cards are going on the bottom of my deck. How do I ever win the game? That's my last hollow one. Oh wait, no, I have other hollow ones. Not that I can cast a hollow one. All right, well, I can tell you were probably not beating Jeskai with a 40 card library and a 1 card hand, but never say never or something. It's like a turn 2 Lavinia. Unlucky. They forcing it. Fair, I guess. This was not a game of Magic, huh? Not a game of Magic. I just get my Bizarre Pyroblasted? Brutal. What percentage of vintage games are games of Magic? You would be surprised. All right, Wait, why am I still playing this game? All right, okay, Ryan. Okay, Ryan. It's okay. You got me. That would have been probably a hard game for us to win, even with a 7-card hand. So, how do we want to board versus Jeskai? I don't know. Unfortunately, they're a Lavinia gamer, and I shunned the advice of our teacher and did not put a Caracas in my sideboard because I was just too lazy. So I don't really have an answer to Lavinia besides Force of Willing it. That's on me. My bad. My bad. What do we think about libraries? God, I don't know. What do we even bring in here? What do we even bring in? Fury is good against Ragavan and Dreadhorde, but bad against Lavinia. As it counters, it gets countered by Lavinia. Endurance is good against Dreadhorde and Mystic Sanctuary. I don't know which kind of artifact hate, or if we assume they play Pithing Needle and Moon, we want to keep in Vigor or Leyline. I did see a bunch of Jeskai lists with Leyline, so maybe we just keep in all of our Vigors. Maybe we just exchange Revivals for Endurances. Or maybe we, yeah. I mean, if you take out Mindbreak Trap, but you have enough blue cards, that's what I would be worried about. I guess Chalice, when you can't play it on 1, is like not very good, but we can kind of play it on 1. Like this. Certainly doesn't seem unreasonable. This is a tough matchup, actually. Even though Jeskai can't wasteland you, sometimes they can just kill all your stuff, which is annoying. Or maybe we're supposed to have some Furies in our deck just to hit. I mean, Monkey doesn't matter. Why do you like Riftstone? I don't understand. Fair. I guess that's fair. Hey, a 7-carder. I like to keep. Seven cards is a lot more than 1 card for anyone keeping track at home. I know, tough math. Tough math. Math. With an F. Tough math. All right, hopefully we play some Magic here. Bizarre, activate. We'd like a... we get Surgical or Rav Trapped here. It's pretty bad. I guess we can just go Squee, Powder. No worries, no worries. I was away. Squee, Powder, Wasteland. And not expose my Vine. Doesn't seem like they had it. Well, I don't have a force, so that resolves. So I will just wasteland them and then pitch upkeep. I mean, we should try to kill it, right? Oh, fuck. I guess I could have held on to my Bizarre activation. Whoops. Oh, no. I guess I wasn't supposed to kill it. Maybe I misplayed. Or maybe I wasn't supposed to do half of each plan. Life's tough for Justin. This Jeskai matchup, no fun. I do regret the lines that I took this game. I kind of just wung it, and I didn't think about it like in the first 2 matches, which was probably a mistake. Not good for the home team, put it that way. I thought it made sense to hit it in the upkeep where they wouldn't be able to Flusterstorm it or counter it. But maybe that was just very ambitious of me. I don't think I'm supposed to like endurance their yard. That seems like it would be not great. Unless they like Mystic Sanctuary or something. Well, they haven't cast any Preordains, which is historically a good thing for me. So I'm gonna go to hand size. So they're going to Sanctuary now on Time Walk. Oh, if I hit this, I lose my Thrutwala, and I lose my ability to discard this turn. And they have Hardcast Force. I don't think this does enough for us to hit it. So cast a Rootwalla, which will give me 1 mana next turn, which will let me cast a Rootwalla. Why are you like this, opponent? Didn't even Time Walk. I am not discarding Squee because I would like to discard creatures. All right, you got me. 1/3 gets in there. Time Walk, Preordain, Swords, Time Walk Swords, Time Walk Bolt, Time Walk Preordain, Time Walk Ancestral, Dak Vaden, nothing. Swords, cycle. Fuck your swords. If they're just gonna flash it back, I don't know why I'm trying. Yeah, this was not very close. This matchup's tough. I think I played very poorly though, so it's kind of on me. I am dying very, very slowly. I swear, when I play this from the other side of the matchup, it is not this easy. But we done got. We done got. Yes, good English. Yes. All right, I'm done here. I don't really want to play this anymore. I want to play games where I'm allowed to do things. The half a beer? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. This is just the matchup I wanted to get on stream because let me tell you, Rivermouse 313 plays some decks. And if you don't know what I mean, let's find an example. Let's find a quick example of a Rivermouse 313 deck because they're beautiful. Let's put it that way. So here's a more tame one actually than normal. So this is your typical Deathrite Shaman, Dothy Voidwalker, Necropotence, Tinker Citadel, Hymn to Torok, Manamorphose, Tendrils combo deck that boards into Oath of Druids. And this is one of the most tame versions I've ever seen. Any better ones? Let's hold that midrange. So here's your Deathrite Shaman, Jace Fringe Prodigy, Veraska Golgari Queen, Hymn to Torok Tendrils deck. With sideboard Hermit Druid plan, which I don't know how you use because there's 6 or there's a basic. Okay, you cut the basic. Okay, you cut the basic. Do they have a Crozen Reclamation and a Thassa's Oracle. So yeah. So suffice to say, Rivermouse plays some decks. So I'm interested to see what will happen to us today. The last time I played against Rivermouse, I believe they played like Tundra, Emerald, Manamorphose, Hymn to Turok me. So, yeah, you know, it's a good time. Or I'll just mulligan to 0 again. Who knows? God, it was a joke. It was a joke. Magic Online. It was a joke. Keep. Bottom. Go. Oh, I need to put 4 away? Oh, no. Oh, no. What do I do? I think I have to go... Man, 4 is a bad number. If it was 3 would have been a much better number. So I played against this player on and they boarded in Oath, right? But they didn't board out enough Deathrite Shamans, so they oathed into a Deathrite Shaman. Unlucky. Got forced. So you never know what's gonna happen, which is exciting. It's a good time. Oh my god, I got wastelanded. How is there a wasteland? All right, well, I think we're gonna lose. I mulled the 4, kept a really nice one, and got. I do be like that sometimes. Deathrite Shaman, yep, a classic, and a strip mine, sure, and a jet. I found another Bazaar, but they have a strip mine. I mean, still playing Activate. Can hit a Revival. Can not hit a Revival. I just know my opponent has a Hymn to Torok in their hand right now. I just know it. Why? Mm. I have a very, very losing record against River Mouse. I don't win very much. Oh yeah. Wait, why is it in exile? Should be in exile. Oh yeah, they could play our Bazaar if they wanted to. Oh yeah, where'd that sheet go? Yeah, this is yeah, we're dead. Brutal. Oh, my favorite is they're splashing the red and 6 off of Deathrite Manamorphose. Oh no, they added a Badlands. Never mind. What's happened? I gained 2 life. Aye. Fair. All right, I'm done here. Let's go to game 2. Oh, yes. Unlucky. Got Void Walkered. I don't know what I'm supposed to. I guess we can bring in some. So the problem with bringing in Fury is if they board into Oath of Druids, we don't want Fury. And I can't predict when they're going to board into Oath of Druids because I think they roll a dice. Because sometimes they do, and then sometimes they don't, and sometimes they board into Oath of Druids and then don't board in something to Oath of Druids into. Because sometimes they just Oath of Druids into Deathrite Shaman. So it does, I don't know. Do I board in Fury? Do I not board in Fury? Do you think they play an Assassin's Trophy in their deck? I don't know. Maybe? Yeah, I think they do. Maybe? No? I don't know. I don't know if you can fit an Assassin's Trophy in the deck if you have 3 Hymn to Turok, you know? No, there are no Assassin's Trophies the last time they were published. So, what do? What do? Maybe we bring in Fury and take out some traps and a chalice? I don't know. This seems reasonable to me. Could play a snapback for, you know, if they oath into a Deathrite Shaman. All right, let's try this. All right, I'd like to not mulligan as much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Keep. Two hollow ones. Only one hollow one. So I think in a hand like this, I should do some amount of hedging against. Well, actually, I don't think they're going to board in Ravenous Trap, because how could you fit Ravenous Trap in your sideboard when you have 4 Oath of Druids? So we won't go max value. We'll go just squee value. And I think it's correct to play this hollow one in case I get wastelanded. I guess I have an option to beat Wasteland, but All right, I got my Narset, or they forced with pitching Narset. Got my Hollowvine countered again. That's okay. Let's see if we get Wastelanded. Survey says no Wasteland this game, just a Deathrite. Just a Deathrite. That is acceptable. I will bring back my Squeeze. Squee number 1. Squee number 2. Activate Bazaar. Do we Noxious our Hollow one? No? I think the answer is no. It doesn't assure us a Vine, so I'm kind of... I don't really think it's good. Well, yeah, why Noxious a Hollow one when you can just draw a Root Wall a Hollow one? You know? Let's not get dazed. All right, I feel good about this game. I don't think we're going to get Oath of Druids if there's a Deathrite Shaman in play. So this is good to know, because if my opponent is not going to bring in Oath, and they're going to leave in Deathrite Dothy Horror, Dothy Voidwalker, which makes sense, then... Oh, no, friend. No. There will be no Dothy Voidwalker for you. I will counter your Deathrite with my Stifle. My Phyrexian Stifle. And then I'm going to strip mine you. and then we're going to do it again. No, this is not mean after what they did to us in game 1. Okay, so I think we can successfully board out Force of Vigor. If my opponent... I think we can board out Vigor. If we board out Vigor, what would we bring in? What would we bring in? We get to bring cards back in. What do we want? What could we want? Is there anything in our sideboard that we might want? Chalice, not the best card against my opponent because they don't actually care that much about 0 drops, though they do have 5 Moxen, a Lotus, and a Citadel, and we're on the draw. We don't really want Chalice. It's for Ghost Quarter and Assassin's Trophy, Lackey, but they don't have those. All right, maybe we'll just run it back. Maybe we want Library, and we'll cut 1 Force for a Library. Sold. Though Library is bad if they hymn to Turok us. So maybe we shouldn't play Library. Yes. All right, I'm going to powder this. I'm sad about powdering this. I lose out on 2 squeeze. But we got to powder this. We're going to mulligan this. And we're going to keep. And we're going to put a... So I have to put in this and this, and I might pitch this to this. So maybe we just put a squee on the bottom, hold open, and what is a negation holding up for, though? What is a negation holding up for, though? Kind of nothing, right? Oath? I don't think they have a needle in their deck. I'm convinced their plan is Deathrite Shamans. What the fuck is happening? Why are we getting Dark Ritual? I have to counter this so they don't play a Doffy Voidwalker. I can't just let them Doffy Voidwalker me on turn 1. Oh, shy. Oh. Ooh. 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 Should I keep Force? No. I think I should keep Force and just take my 9 power. Do I kill them on 1 turn? So if I kept this, I would put them to 16. I don't kill them in 1 swing. I think we just get rid of one of our hollow ones. But what if they have Force? Would we force back? Probably not. Okay, I'm sold. We'll keep Force. All right. What's next? What's next? Okay. Bayou makes sense. Voidwalker? It's a little late. It's a little late for the Voidwalker. Deathrite. Resolves. Yeah, we can't, we need one more turn before we can play that. Which is fine. It's a nice little backup plan. Balance? Nah, maybe they have no answers. That's fine. They might just have no answers at this point. I think after we countered the Dark Ritual, I think that was it. I think the game was over. If we hadn't countered Dark Ritual, they would have gone like Deathrite, Shaman, Voidwalker. We beat Deluge right now. Okay, down to 7. No other color, just Underground Seas. Black, Voidwalker. That sounds fine. Doesn't block. Sure, Voidwalker, why not? So they block and they eat. Okay. I couldn't attack with Rootwalla because they're at functional 9. So if they blocked on Rootwalla and 8, they would go to 1. Do we activate Bazaar and play another hollow one? No, because if they play a creature, they don't live. So I don't see a reason to do that. I don't want to give them a card to play off of this Voidwalker for some reason. So if we attack with the Lizard, they would have blocked with the Deathrite Shaman, gained 2 life, taken 8, and went to 1. And we would have lost our Lizard Wizard. Okay, we've successfully vanquished Dothy Voidwalker deck. I can't say that I do this very often. I have to admit, they get me a lot. I die a lot to this deck, so I'll take it. All right, 5th and final round of this league. Only 8:45, so I might even play another one after. I'm on the play. Let's go. Keep, steep, keep. They'll never know I'm on Bazaar because I actually kept my 7-card hand. Why is Teferi good? So the prevalent... So before the Jeskai Rising, the prevalent way to counter cards is Flusterstorm. So you're seeing 3 or 4 Flusterstorm in most Tigger decks. And Teferi is really fucking good against Flusterstorm. So... This deck cannot really keep a hand without Bazaar. No. There are some small circumstances post-board versus certain matchups where you can, but for the most part, no, you are mulliganing to Bazaars. Goblins is an interesting deck that I don't think is super strong enough. I'm going to get rid of Vengevine, Squee, and Powder, but I'm not going to get rid of Rootwalla because I'm going to hold the Rootwalla to maybe get my Vengevine back next turn. Yeah, for the most part, your mulligan is basically, do I have a Bazaar? If yes, keep. If no, mulligan, which is nice. You do have to make a bunch of mulligan decisions on what you're putting back, which is not straightforward typically. So there are definitely some growing pains in that that section of mulliganing. But in terms of keeping and mulliganing, which is what most people think about for mulliganing, I would agree. My opponent has played 2 spells, so they're on Bant Archon. Or I'll take the free trap every time, so. Maybe that's a bait, probably not. Found another Rootwalla, we're gonna get back our Vengevine. Squee. Walla. Cast. No, I mean, Archon is fine. It's just an annoying card for things that I like to be doing with my life. I've played Doomsday on stream exactly once, and it was one of the worst experiences I've ever had playing streaming Magic the Gathering. So I do not think I'll be streaming Doomsday. So here's an Archon. I think I'd like to be able to force this if I find one. This also works. Voila! Yo, imagine if I find a Gaia's Cradle. That would be nice. So it would be tapped, so not the most nice. No, you kind of have to play Archon in a deck that can accelerate it. Typically, Noble Hierarch is the way to do that. Or you could, yeah, typically just think Noble Hierarch is the way to do it. Okay. All right. Get in there, team. No, this bird is picking off my lizards. It's fucking rude. I might play Bant tomorrow. So if you want to see Bant Archon in action, I might play it tomorrow. I think it's a good metagame call for maybe this week, but maybe not any weekends after, so. All right, Fury looks good here, and that's probably it. Just want to bring out Chalice Trap, I guess. They don't play anything that fetches our lands. I guess this is probably a matchup where Montovio wants me to bring in Riftstone Portal. Riftstone Portal? Yeah, why not? Riftstone Portal. They're not really a needle. Oh, yeah, they are a needle deck. They're 2 needles, 2 tabernacles, 2 needles, 2 tabernacles, 3 or 4 endurances is what I remember. 2 needles, 2 tabernacles, 3 to 4 endurances. I look at my list, but I know I changed my list. I'm on 4 endurance, 2 needle, 1 tabernacle, and a bunch of swords, but they may or may not be on swords. So I would think like this. That looks reasonable to me. It's not really likely for us to trap them, though obviously they ran into trap this game after probing me, which is really weird. If they didn't, like, if they wanted to play around trap, all they needed to do was go probe into Hierarch and just not play the Moxen, or play the Moxen after Hierarch. So kind of just a misplay on my opponent's part. Oh, this is a really, really rough powder. Ah, that is not a good powder. That is like... Okay, keep this. Reanimator's really bad because it gets hit by Flusterstorm and all the graveyard heat. So, like way more graveyard hate in Vintage than any other format. All right, well, let's start with Vining. I guess I can hold on to a Root Walla then. That's kind of sick. These draws were powerful. I'm going to hold on to Fury and wait till they play another spell, I think. I could get Tabernacled here, but again, I don't know. What am I supposed to do? I boarded in the Riftstone Portal. Lavinia will stop that plan, but I think it's worth risking. Resolves. Probably should have played that on turn 1. We did get punished. All right, never mind. So now they have an answer to Vengevine. And an answer to my board. Okay, so how do we fight through this? How do we fight through this? Now they have an answer to this. Vengevine. Did not find Wasteland. Do we still... Like, what the fuck? Do we... What do I want to do? I feel like I want to go negation... Root. If I go negation, Root Walla, bring back Vengevine for 4 damage, then my whole board dies, which is fine. And I guess we would play out the Bazaar, or would we not play out the Bazaar? So Root Walla's do not go to exile, or so not, they go directly to exile. They do not go to the graveyard. So it's up to my opponent whether they want to Lantern this Vengevine for 4 damage or not. They might want to, because we could be hiding a wasteland, and they're going to. So we got the Lantern away, which is decent because what we can do is now we can find Squeeze. So I think we will play this Bazaar, because now we can build a squee game plan. So I think this works out okay for us. They obviously have to pay for their Noble Hierarch, which means they're pretty stunted on mana. And we're pretty protected against Wasteland, which is nice. Time Walk, sure. If they play like an Archon, we'll just blow up their board. Or you don't even have to, they could just pay. But Wasteland, are they going to hit my Bazaar? They might just play... Yeah. This was a worry. This was a worry. So how do I win this game? I have to bring back a mass quantity of Vengevines? I powdered out 3 masters, so 4 total scree. Yes, we cannot Lavinia Fury. I agree with your sentiment. I don't know if I can beat this. Lavinia is a strong card against us, and I didn't put the Caracas in my board. All of these things are true. Okay. I did bring in the portal. Do not worry. I did bring in the portal. Yes, Mass Vengevines. Portal might do it. The stupid oh, I can't resolve these anyways, I guess, so that doesn't really matter. So I do have to activate this Bazaar at end step, and I can only keep these little boys. That's a weird way to say that. Little lizards. Little lizards. Yes. Little lizards. Hey, look, a Riftstone portal. I still need to find a stop, Matt. I still can't, play like a Brute Wallow though, right? I really need to find a Vengevine. Or a hollow one. I can't cast a hollow one. Wait, I could have cast a hollow one if I only discarded. No, I can't do that. Doesn't this get countered? Wait, so why are you saying there I go? Because I found the Riftstone portal? I'm confused. Okay, all right. I need to find a Vengevine to bring back. Squeeze, not bad. No, we're not hard casting Basking. We're bringing back a Vengevine And then we're keeping it in play using our Bazaar. That's not good. That's fine. Okay, we found a Vengevine. All right, draw 2. Discard Vengevine. Oh, I can't cast more than one spell a turn. This is not fine. All right, we're dead. God, we were so close. Needed to not be Lotus. It needed to not be Lotus Archon. Not fine. All right, let's try again. Technically, Vintage Death and Taxes has been winning games of Magic recently, according to my statistics. However, I think that deck is very bad. Submit. You just want Chalice? Really? Why? They have like 3 0 drops in their entire deck. No. It's just Bant Moxen. So they have 4, sorry. Hmm. What do I pitch here? Just 2 Furies, I guess? Or sorry, Vengevine and a Fury? That way I have Wasteland protection, Tabernacle protection. Just looking for... I guess I could technically play 2 spells next turn if they play like a Noble Hierarch. Okay, all right. So we have a plan. We absolutely have a plan. Ooh. Activate. Rootwalla. Force. Force. Cast. Cast. I could have hard cast this Venge, but not gonna have. Should I blow this shit up too? So let's think about it. Downsides. Lavinia. God, we've just dodged endurances this entire time. That is wild. This deck doesn't really run Tarmogoyf anymore. I'm not running any Tarmogoyfs. I'm running something close to this list. I think Tarmogoyf is not a very strong Magic card. So what if they go Oko? We're probably still fine. If they go Harkon, we're probably still fine. If they go Endurance, are we still fine? Probably. So I guess we can leave it. The only thing that really gets punishes us is Lavinia. Nice. You should. Vintage is a fun format. I think Eternal Weekend is one of the best vintage events of the year. One of the best Magic events of the year. Huge tournament, online, good prizes, coverage sometimes. I think Vintage Eternal Weekend is a great time to play some Magic. Eternal Weekend is Thanksgiving weekend this year. So next month. Eternal Weekend is 6 Vintage and Legacy events. Or sorry, 3 Vintage, 3 Legacy, a total of 6 events spanning 2 weekends in November this year. Me neither. It's next month. Hold on. I have it tagged right here. Sunday, November 28th, November 27th. So the weekend of November 27th is Vintage, and the weekend of November 19th and 20th is Legacy. Okay, so my opponent did have a Tabernacle along with an Ancestral. This is okay because we have a Gaia's Cradle. We do want to find a Wasteland, though, so that we're not susceptible to our own their Wastelands. Any Wasteland gamers? Got a Wasteland. You love to see it. Okay. So I can play this Wasteland, but not use it. So that my opponent has to pay for their Noble Hierarch, which is great for us. And then at the end of the turn, we Wasteland this Tabernacle, and we are in great shape to win this round as well. Which will mean we're, what, 4-1? It's a pretty good league. Honestly, the decline of Bug has been probably pretty good for these Hollowvine decks. You don't think I waste the Tabby at all? Well, what if they Wasteland my Gaia's Cradle? I guess that's not really. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's pretty straightforward. So this is the whole point. This is the whole point. So they wasted my Gaia's Cradle. I have to waste the Tabby. I'm just a psychic, chat, okay? I just know things. I just assumed that was happening. Maybe I shouldn't assume that's happening. I don't know. Not bad, though. Not bad. I think besides the Jeskai match, which I don't think I played well, but I also mulliganed to 1, I think we played pretty well. And we boarded pretty well. This is not the right deck, so I don't know why I'm looking at it. This is the deck. GG's. That was good. Honestly, if you don't play against Bug and Golos, which we played against 0 Bug and Golos, but Bug and Golos are still, you know, a significant metagame percentage. Even just this month, they've been 16 and 11, so a combined 27% of the premier metagame. But if you just don't play against those, this deck obviously is great versus the rest of the field. So, but yeah, this is pretty sweet. That was fun. I'm not unhappy with Twitch chat's choice of Hollowvine, and we got some cool new tech that actually worked out really well. The basics tech, we got to pump a Blazing Root Wall up for the first time. I don't believe I've ever done that before, so that was pretty sweet. Look at that. Look at that little lizard. All flaming. Yeah, Snapback is for Sphinx and Blight Steel and those kind of things. But it was a cool league. Thanks for choosing this deck, Twitch chat, and thanks for everyone who's hung out. That was fun. I think we'll do some more.